Hello everyone, so I will be doing my August wrap up. I can't believe August is over and fall is here. I know technically it's still summer, but it's getting cold here, so I consider it fall. So for the month of August, I only read 4 books, so let's get started. The first book I read was Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So this is a YA science fiction book about two companies who are at war over this planet, but this planet is still being lived on. And so when this planet is attacked, Katie and Ezra have to fight their way onto an evacuating fleet, but they are separated. But through Katie's hacking abilities, they are still able to communicate. So despite fleeing the planet that is being attacked, they are still in danger. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So I really liked the mixed media approach of this book. It is something unique. So the book opens up with Katie and Ezra being interviewed, and then it goes from military documents to emails between different people. So it's just very interesting. However, there were some unnecessary parts to it, such as stuff like this or this. I just didn't like those parts. The romance of the book wasn't my favorite. It didn't bother me as much as some YA romance, but sometimes it just went over the top and was way too cheesy for me. So if you like YA novels in the style of mixed media, then I highly recommend this book. So the second book I read was Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. It is a science fiction fantasy about how Richard Mayhew stops to help a girl on the side of the street, and he brings her home, and from there all these crazy things happen. First, his world is not his world anymore, so he goes and tries to find Dor, which is the girl he helped. From there, he is transported into a world unlike he's ever seen, a world full of monsters and angels and knights. It's a world he never knew existed. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Neil Gaiman is becoming one of my favorite authors. The world and characters he creates is just so fascinating, and this is not an exception. I like how he takes modern London and mixes it with the fantasy world. The only problem I had with this book is that I did not connect with Richard. He felt a little flat to me. I did like Dor, the character, so this is a great story and I highly recommend it. So the third book I read was Big Fish by Daniel Wallace. So this book is about William Bloom, who doesn't really know his father, Edward. His father is not always around, but when he is, the father's just telling wild stories, and so he never gets to know who his father truly is. And even on Edward's deathbed, he's just telling stories and jokes, and so William never gets to connect with his father. So the tales that Edward tells are fascinating, and it's fun to try to pick out details that are actually true. So if you've seen the movie and you liked the movie, then I think you would like this book. However, I didn't really know if I should love or hate the character Edward. Some of his stories, he seemed like a great guy and they were funny, but he is an absentee husband and father, so it had me a little torn. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars because I liked it, but I did not love it. The last book I read for August was Brooke by V.C. Andrews. So this is a part of her Orphan series, and this one is about Brooke, who was abandoned at a young age, and she's taken in by a rich family. The mother wants a mini version of herself. She teaches Brooke how to be a proper lady and make sure that she's always presentable. And she wants to enroll Brooke into pageants just like she did, and Brooke doesn't want to, so this creates problems. So this is the third book I've read in the series. You don't have to read any of these books in any particular order. I will say that it always kind of ends the same way, but the journey with the families are always different. V.C. Andrews' books are a little dark, so I recommend for an older audience. I give this 3 to 5 stars on Goodreads. So those are the only books I read for the month of August. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!